Guys, how far? It's been a minute. But honestly, I just need to speak about season 2 of Solo Leveling with you guys because season 2 has been so peak. The aura farming in this season has reached insane levels, far surpassing the aura farming in season 1. They've really gone to extra lengths to make sure that you guys know that Sun Jinwoo is him. They've adapted manhwa chapters from chapter 46 to 108 roughly in this season, which is actually a lot of chapters. It's been such a roller coaster from January. Just looking at the amount of growth that Jinwoo has had this season alone, when we compare where he was at the first episode at the start of January to where he is now in the last episode at the end of March, is actually such a huge gap. I remember at the end of the first episode he spoke about how Igris was still a bit stronger than him, but by the last episode it's very obvious that Jinwoo is the strongest out of all of his shadow soldiers. As the leader, he is definitely the strongest, especially after defeating Beru. By the end of the second season, Jinwoo has added at least 5 new members to his shadow army. This includes Tank, Iron Tusk, Kaiser and Beru, as well as some other monsters that he doesn't really give any names to them, but the ants and the orcs are a good example of monsters that he added to his shadow army that he didn't really give names. This season has mainly been more fights and leveling up, and the part that I was looking forward to the most was the elixir of life, when he gives it to his mom and also wakes her up from that eternal slumber. They did such a great job of bringing that scene to life and capturing the emotions in that moment. Especially they did some more aura farming, making sure the moon hit her just right as she woke up and everything. So that was a key highlight of the season for me, as well as Hwang Dun-so, I believe, getting his ass beat by Jinwoo's dad, because that man had it coming for a while. That man was annoying me this season. I was so happy when he finally got what he deserved in the end. The sparring between the Korean S ranks and the Japanese S ranks was also really good, especially with Goto. I believe that this is actually part of the manhwa that I think they didn't make as clear as they could have as well. They did an okay job with it. They cut out some scenes again, but it was alright in the end. I just feel like they made things look very close between Jinwoo and Goto Ryuji, and in the manhwa it didn't look that close at all. The Hunter x Hunter comparisons this season as well have been popping off. I feel like because Hunter x Hunter is so popular, any anime that comes after Hunter x Hunter that has an ant arc, they're immediately going to be compared to Hunter x Hunter. Both animes have a really strong, overpowered ant antagonist, so of course the easiest comparison to make is going to be to Hunter x Hunter, because that's where we've last seen something like that being done. But genuinely, I think that Solo Leveling is its own thing for real, and it's just a coincidence that they both have this really strong ant antagonist that the main character has to take down. The word aura farming and overpowered has been used so much in this season. Almost every episode is overpowered, aura farming, he's him, and it's all true. I'm not gonna lie, they are not lying. It's all very true. So many scenes that were cut out and changed just to make Jinwoo look cooler. For example, that viral exchange clip that is going around on social media where he's watching the whole fight at Jeju Island from the top of these buildings. If you look in the manhwa, he's in the middle of the street when he says exchange. The only reason that they changed up that scene to put him on top of the buildings is to aura farm. They just want them to think that he's him, and he is him. But clearly the animators are very big fans of Jinwoo, trust me. The things that they have done to go out of their way to make this man look as cool as possible, I have to rate it. I respect it. The aura farming is insane. Now they've cut out a lot of scenes that are not action-packed, and they've prioritized a lot of action-packed scenes because clearly that's what the fandom are here for. I saw the 3k dislikes on the episode where Jinwoo was crying, and I honestly think that is so ridiculous, guys. The toxic masculinity. So you're telling me this guy's mom was in a sleep coma for 5 years, eternal slumber, and they didn't think that she was ever gonna come out of it, and she was dying slowly, and then he finally goes through all that that stress, all those fights, all those power-ups to finally make that elixir of life, and you guys have an issue with this man crying? That is so crazy to me. I was not expecting that to happen. That is insane. Now, moving on to the fights in this season. After reading the manhwa last year, the fights that I was looking forward to the most were the fight with Tusk, and the fight with Baron, and the fight with Beru. Now, in order of my favorite fights this season with the ranking, I would say my favorite fight ended up being the fight with Baron, then the fight with Beru, and then lastly the fight with Tusk. The reason that the fight with Baron was my favorite fight is because I felt like that fight was a lot closer. It felt like more of a challenge than the fight with Beru. I feel like with the fight with Beru, he'd already leveled up, he already knew he was him, and he'd gained a lot of skills from his fight with Baron. Also, I don't like how Beru came into the scenes. He was taking people's heads. He was this strong antagonist figure. And then when he meets a really strong opponent, suddenly he's running, because I think that's ridiculous. This guy ran away 3 times. The survival instinct kicked in like crazy in the end, and I'm so sorry. You need to stay there and fight like a real soldier. You said you're him, you're strong, You need to keep fighting to the end. All this fleeing, this is ridiculous. He's really an insect to the core, because I said, what? No way he's done all this, and now because this guy is stronger, you want to keep fighting. I didn't like that at all. That's why the fight with Baron, for me, I feel like I liked it more, because at least Baron, he didn't run away, he stood to the end, and in fact it was very close. It felt like this guy almost beat Jinwoo, if not for Essel who was there with him. That was close. That was like a real matchup, whereas this one, it felt like the fight with Beru, Jinwoo was getting stronger and stronger with time, and at this point he just overpowered Beru completely, and that's why the guy started running. But I'm so sorry, you need to stand on it. You need to stand on business, for real. That was ridiculous. They could have also explained Beru's powers and abilities a bit more clearer in the anime, because in the manga it's obvious that the reason that Beru keeps getting stronger is because he consumes his opponents. When he consumes his opponents, he gains their memories, he gains their abilities, which is why if you look at before he took out the S rank healer, you didn't see any regenerative abilities from Beru, but then after he took that healer out, he started speaking, he started regenerating, because he consumed all the guy's memories and skills. But I guess you could have guessed that, but they didn't really make that very obvious in the anime, but it was more obvious in the manhwa. So that's why when the Ant Queen was defeated, he went straight to her and he started eating her, because he was absorbing all her memories and her strength, and that's how his whole ability works. In terms of Cha Hain, I don't think that Jinwoo thought about Baron and his regenerative abilities, because it wasn't obvious to Jinwoo at that point how Baron's abilities worked, but he knew of the S rank healer. And this is another thing that they changed for the anime, because in the manhwa, when he was trying to resurrect the S rank healer, he had to do it 3 times, because Min Byung-ju didn't want to come back to life to be fighting people. He never liked wars and battles anyway, which is one of the reasons that his friend was saying, oh, please let him go. But in the anime, they made it seem like he came back immediately with the first call and command, which isn't what happened with the manga. But I'm thinking the reason that they did that was to save time, because the same thing did happen regardless. It's just that it was not that easy for Sung Jin-woo to bring him back, and him saying that he heard his voice telling him to use his power, none of that was in the manhwa. Overall, they did a great job of animating this season and bringing it to life. It was A1 Pictures and Aniplex that did this season. They added these cool scenes with Beru, with the eyes that went viral on Twitter again. Beru almost took Jinwoo's eyes out. That also wasn't in the manga, but again, I feel like they keep rearranging things to create more hype around the episode, and I think it's a great thing to do. I think that's what an anime adaptation of a manhwa should be doing. In the anime, they made it look like Jinwoo was pushed to the edge, and that's why the system gave Jinwoo an upgrade to mutilation. But in the manhwa, it was not like that. it was during the fight that the system gave him an upgrade, and Beru did not overpower Jinwoo at any point. Honestly, if you've not started watching Solo Leveling by now, I would really recommend it because just the thrill, the animation, the vibe is so great. By the end of season 2, Jinwoo actually reaches level 100 and he gets a specific key when he reaches this level, which is going to be very important. The way they animated it, I think it's very easy to overlook the fact that he got this key, but this key is actually very important. So if you're rewatching it, just take note of the things that he got when he reached level 100 because those things are very important. This season was peak aura farming. I've not seen aura farming like this in a very long time, and honestly the fans loved it. I loved it as well. It was really great. I feel like everybody should be watching Solo Leveling right now. If you're not watching Solo Leveling, then you're missing out. You need to watch the first 2 seasons so you can catch up and vibe with us when season 3 comes out. And season 3 hopefully should come out soon because I've heard a little something about the director, but I'm hoping it doesn't take too long for season 3 to come back. We should definitely get a season 3 because they've broken so many records and they've done really well this season, so I see no reason why they wouldn't get a season 3. But tell me what you think about season 2 in the comments down below. I want to know what your favorite parts of season 2 were because I feel like there were so many great moments. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Okay, thank you, bye.